Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of From the Desk. I'm your host, Chancellor Mason. I go by Chance. Today's topic is going to be on mental health. It's a very touchy subject to a lot of people. Some of you may hear what I say and you may agree with it, you might disagree with it. I do appreciate your feedback whenever you give it to me, so I'll be looking out for that. It's a very sensitive subject, but I'm actually excited to talk about it. And a lot of people, or I feel, are going to relate to this subject. So let's get started. A little bit about myself. I grew up in the South, Mississippi. I had a really big family, and I came out to San Diego through the Navy. And post-Navy, I stayed in San Diego. Everybody knows that this subject is something I've been very open about lately. Mental health is a very much important thing to me because for a long time, from as a child up until my adult life, I had stuff going on in my life that I never talked about. And I never addressed it. I used to let it roll off my shoulder. I ignored the signs. And all these signs that I felt God was sending me, to better myself and my mental, I was ignoring until a point where I couldn't ignore it anymore, and situations transpired from me not focusing on my mental health. I would like to start, and this segment is called Dearmen because this is mainly focused on men. Yes, women have mental health issues also, but I'm just going to be speaking from a male perspective and what I've seen from grown men growing up and those around me and family and friends and things like of that nature. I Googled the mental health definition right here, and it says mental health, a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. A person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional and well-being. So I'm going to start with I'm going to start with the children. Okay, the children. Now we all know that young men, especially in African American families, when you're kind of forced into being tough, hard. They want you to be strong. Can't be weak. Can't show your feelings. Can't be crying about everything. Don't be a punk. Don't be a sissy. There's all these names that you hear, and there's all these things they want you to do. They want you to be tough. They want you to play sports. They want you to. If somebody hit you, you better hit them back. They got a problem with you, you better handle that. At least from my perspective. That's my opinion. Kids can't be in their feelings. They can't show emotion. I'm not talking about a baby. I'm talking about as you're growing up, from the ages like 5, 6, 7, up into your teenage years, you have all these kids who want to express themselves, but in most families, you're not really allowed to express yourself if it's gonna make you look or sound weak. That's why you have these situations where something traumatic happens to a child, or they're getting bullied or sexually assaulted, and you never hear about it until they get older. And that's because, in my opinion, I feel as if families have put it into these kids' minds, you can't be weak, don't let this happen to you, don't be no punk, to the point where if something does happen, they don't know who to talk to. They don't know who to talk to. And you have these R. Kelly situations, like this guy was molested and everything, and his parents didn't do anything about it. He could express himself the way he wanted to, and instead of stopping that right there, it enabled him to lose his mental and him to repeat the same things that happened to him. So, especially in African American families, everything is really based around religion. So if you're going through something, and I can attest to this, when things were bothering me when I was younger, I would always get told, "Oh, just pray about it. put it in God's hands. God got it. God, he'll do this, he'll do this, he'll do this. Yes, I am religious, but God, in my opinion, God obviously put certain things and avenues in front of our faces so we wouldn't suffer through certain things. You growing up, I wasn't really allowed to be weak. A lot of my cousins and they weren't allowed to be weak. My brother wasn't allowed to be weak. And if you were, it's like what's wrong with you? Calm down, pray about it. Don't be a punk about it. Man up. That's my favorite one, man up. Well, okay, let's say I man up. Let's say I man up and I don't say anything my whole life. And I keep manning up. I keep repeating this cycle. And I have kids and I keep repeating that cycle. What do you think is going to happen along the line? I have cousins that have died at a young age. I have family members that are in prison at a young age. I have families now that are out. They're free, They're living their life, but the certain things that they do, their actions, the way they talk, the way they live their lives, it scares me because I know for a fact that something up here is not right about them. There's something they need to talk about. There's something that they want to say. There's something that's happened that they need to get off their chest. There's somebody they need to talk to. They don't want to show that they're weak. And that's the problem that we have in this world. You can go your whole life. You can go your entire life without talking about something. Your entire life. Like I know men who personally, and they share these stories with me, and of course I'm not going to say their names, but they watched their mom accept things that happened to her, to them. Their mom was getting beat by their dad, or something like that, or their mom let somebody hurt them, and they swept it under the rug. Never said anything about it. And as this person got older, it messed with them. Like I used to get beat as a child, not me, but this person, and now I hate women because my mother didn't do anything. She didn't talk to me about it. She didn't help me heal. And now I'm in a relationship and now I beat women. And it's okay. That happens. Is it his fault? No, yeah, but it's not his fault. It stemmed from the beginning, from the younger age. And you can you can think that you're fine. You can think that you're so fine. Even when something bad has happened to you, you think you're so fine, like life is great. And it can be one instance where something reminds you of what happened, or something that you see, or something that happened to you is done again, and you snap. You lose it all. And everybody's like, oh, this looks crazy. Now, he's not crazy. He's just suffering because his mental health is not where it's supposed to be. It's never been addressed. It wasn't taken care of. He was failed by the people around, or she was failed by people around. When all this was going on, he wasn't allowed to be weak. And we have to get rid of that because in the end result, you're going to live or die. But do you really want to die being very much unhappy, being really sad or really angry, all the time? And take it from me, I had years where I was very, very, very unhappy. Years. Even before I went and got help, I would tell certain people of my family certain things, and it was just like I was asking for a cry. It was a cry of help, and it was just like, you better dust it off and keep it pushing. Pray about it. It took somebody it literally took somebody that I didn't even necessarily like to push me into the direction of I needed to get some help. And now I feel better today. But we have to get rid of that cycle where man cannot be tough, even in adult age. So I see some women, like, men aren't allowed to cry. They're not show like weakness because You can't be a strong man in this household if you're gonna be a punk about stuff. That's not cool. Because if he's not even allowed to be comfortable in his own house, what's gonna happen when you raise your kids and they get out of the house? You know? So we have to stem away from that because mental health is very important. You literally cannot be, nobody's ever gonna be 100%. There's always gonna be something, in my opinion, there's always gonna be something that bothers you. There's always gonna be something that in the back of your head that's really, really picking with you, sitting on your shoulder. You know, nobody's ever gonna be 100%, but if you can be 99, that's fine. We have to get out of this mindset where we just can't be weak. Because it's not about being weak. It's about protecting yourself and your mental health. And you also have to stop allowing these certain people and individuals and situations mess with your mental health. And then when it does, you don't address it because it will eat you alive. Like I said, it's a touchy subject. You know, some people might agree with me. Some people might not agree with me. Everybody has their own parenting skills. Everybody was raised different. Some of us was raised the exact same. Some of you might see this and you be like, this is exactly what happened to me when I was growing up, you know. I scraped my knee and I ran inside crying about it and I got smacked upside the head like, stop being a punk, put some water on it, get it, keep pushing, you know. So we have to get out of that. I appreciate you for watching. If you're watching this, leave some comments. Share this. Let me know what you think. Give me feedback so I can use it for the next segment. I'm going to revisit this subject again later along the line because it's something that needs to be talked about, and especially in the African American community, we do not talk about this enough, and we sit around wondering why everything is going wrong, or we feel like everything is going wrong. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much.